What's up guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm back here in the living room studio as well, and we're gonna shoot another product video today. As you could see, we're gonna shoot a gym commercial, and we're gonna also have some new equipment on today's video, so watch out for that. And with this equipment, we're gonna create something cool that looks like this. So this video is going to be really classy and we're going to keep it simple. That's why we only have two camera positions in this video. First one is the camera is locked off on a tripod and we're going to add some movement in post with zooming in. And then the second one is just the over top angle of the glass, so to switch it up a little bit. Secondly, we're going to use the black backdrop that you could see behind me as a background. So if you remember my other product videos where I shot glass or some other shine through material, I used my laptop screen to light this, and I actually put a Photoshop document on there which functioned as a light. But I just didn't have the right lights for this, but actually this time I do. So the people from Nanlite, the company where I have the awesome light tubes from, the Nanlite power tubes that I use in every single video, were kind enough to send me this, the Forza 60 and a bunch of other stuff. And it's going to be really helpful in this video. Let me show you why. So this is actually perfect because I actually need that circle of light right here when I put the bottles in here, because I want to have a circle of light shining in from behind, because the bottle looks really good when you have a circle of light right behind the bottle. And when we're gonna shoot a glass, it also looks nice. So this Forza 60 is perfect for that, and I like that it's so small and compact, so I'm gonna use this really often, I would say, in product videos. See how nice that looks, how the light in the back on the black background is illuminating the liquid in the water. So this is one of my favorite techniques when it comes to lighting glass and liquid. The light in the back is going to illuminate the liquid in the glass bottle, and it looks so good. And I just have one Nanlite power tube, like a tube light on the right hand side to get that stripe of light here on the right, and then I have another one on the left to get that stripe of light on the left side. And then I just need one more light to light the label. I'm just going to use a small light for this, probably one of the smaller light tubes that Nanlite sent me. I'm just gonna highlight the label a little bit, and that's just it. So this is the setup for the first shot, where are gonna be like the hero shots of the bottles, and I just have this mirror here on my Lazy Susan, and I'm just using this small little light here, the Nanlite Power Tube 26C, and just to highlight the label of the bottle a little bit and just reveal it using the Sony a7 III and just still on that tripod. And I want to get some movement in, so I'm just rotating this towards the camera and revealing the label kind of, and I'm punched in quite a bit on the label here. So I'm just gonna turn it away from the camera and then towards the camera, just some diversity so I can play around with it in post. And then I'm just gonna back up the camera a little bit and get a larger scene. So I'm just gonna have it spin, not that much, but just a little movement here. And also I'm gonna punch in post so I get 2-axis movement, and it's gonna look really nice. So this is the hero shot sequence, and I usually shoot this one right in the beginning because the bottles are still full, and because I'm pouring the gin into the glass, I want to have the bottle still full. So I'm doing that usually at the first shot, the hero shot. So that's going to be the ending shot. And it's simply just the same setup as in all the shots, kind of the mirror on the Lazy Susan. And I decorated it a little bit with some blueberries and some rosemary. And the glass is already in the middle, and I staged it really nice here with the two bottles on either side. And then in the middle, I have the glass filled with the blueberries and the rosemary. And for this setup, I'm gonna have the camera again on a tripod. I'm just rotating it a little bit, that Lazy Susan, and I'm actually turning off all the lights except the one in the back with the circle. And I'm just having my other small light tube just over top and then just rotating it at the same time. So pretty easy shot, but the problem is you want to get a good Lazy Susan. This one is just like a rotating table from the kitchen, and it gets a little wobbly, so I had to do it a few times. There's other cheap stuff online that are electronic and they're way more stable than this, so I really recommend those. So I also wanted to get some action in. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop the blueberries into the glass, into the gin here. And while I'm doing that, I'm gonna light it with just the light from the back. Everything is turned off, just the light from the back to get it really dark and moody. Because the lighting from the back really focuses on the water and brings out the water when it splashes. And then I'm just gonna drop in the ice cube as well. And as I'm dropping the ice cubes in, I'm shooting in slow motion, and I'm just having the camera still and punch in a little bit in post. And yeah, that's it, basically a pretty simple shot, but looks really good. I think the most part of the work is setting everything up and cleaning everything again, and then make sure there's no dust on everything, resetting the glasses and do the shots again. So the setting up part, I think, is the most amount of work here. So the next shot is gonna be where I pour in the gin into the empty glass. And this was a little tricky because this bottle, I mean, it looks good, but it's hard to grab kind of, and it's awkward because I don't want to see my hand too much. And yeah, I just, the bottle is kind of hard to pour, but I managed to get a good grip on it and it's just pouring it in. And what I did is I had my tube light up here and I was just lighting the label of the bottle, and everything else was just the light in the back. I actually really like tube lights for lighting glass, but this glass, because of the shape, you can't get really nice edges here. So if you use a straight glass, like something like this, which is straight, the edges get really defined from the light, but not when it's curved like that. So I'm just using this light and my small little LED light tube for lighting this. So because this video is about making the perfect gin and tonic, I obviously had to get a tonic water, and I just pulled out the label of this little glass bottle. And I really like these bottles because they're so small and it'll actually look really good. And what I did is I sprayed the bottle with this spray bottle to make it look cold. And then I'm just gonna pour in from about this height into the glass where I have a little bit of water in already to make it seem like the gin is already in. And also a nice little trick is because you have ice cubes in here and you get reflections off of the ice cubes of the glass, you might want to rotate the glass until you have the least amount of reflections on the glass here, because the light is reflecting off of the surface of the ice cubes here. So you want to make sure that there's the least amount of reflections on there. And of course I'm shooting in slow motion to make it seem more elegant and also have the tonic water running down smoothly here. So 120 frames and look really good. So I also had to switch up the angle a little bit because everything was kind of shot from the front. So what I did is I just picked up the camera and went over top of the glass, use manual focus, and I'm just gonna pour in the tonic water from above. And then also I'm gonna do another shot where I drop in the rosemary into the glass just to switch it up a little bit. And yeah, pretty simple. And I just lit this with my small little light here, just from here, to give it a nice ambient light. And I couldn't use the mirror for this because it's too reflective, so I switched this out with a glass, because then you can see the black paper on the top and it doesn't reflect as much. And I decorated it with a little bit with the ice cubes and some berries and some rosemary to have a nice background. Yeah, but that's basically a pretty simple shot to switch up the front shot. And I have another little trick for you, because sometimes it's really hard to clean the glass. And what I found is if you use the actual gin, there's more drops on there because it doesn't run off as easy. If you use water instead of gin, it's way easier to clean and it runs off more easy, and it basically looks the same. So that's a little trick that you can apply. So that's it. Thanks so much for sticking around until the end of the video. I hope you learned something today. A free and easy way to support the channel is hit that like button. And if you like the video, you might consider subscribing. I would really appreciate it. If you have any questions, shoot me a message on Instagram, and I will see you in the next video. Cheers.